Good morning. Welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 10th of November. So, first things first, it's just I was just looking at the overnight what's going on. Well, we've seen some German inflation this morning actually coming in at 4.5%, running out. They're not these numbers are not really going to be moving the markets too much at the moment. These inflation numbers. And talking of inflation, today we've got inflation coming out for the US this afternoon. I don't expect major movements from these, although as in price reaction to them, because the impact of the inflation data at the moment seems negligible. But we'll see. Never write it off. So it's at 130. Unemployment claims coming through at the same time, but even that they're rarely looked at too much on their own. But anyway, there we go. 30-year bond auction in the US at 6 o'clock. Could get a bit of movement from there. Talking of bonds, the yields have been pushing up this morning, and we're seeing the reaction of this through the markets. They're not massive at the moment at 148. We're saying that they're pushing up as I speak almost. On a 5-day basis, just starting to pick back up since yesterday. Basically bond selling going, money runs into the dollar, and we see weaker other currencies. So that's where we are at the moment. So that's the risk events. Well, other things through Chinese property companies are under more pressure. There's some asking for their loans to be repaid earlier than due. So that's putting more pressure on that Chinese property market there, or development market. And one of the Fed speakers overnight, Fed Bullard, yesterday he's talking about 2 increases in interest rates in 2022, which is pretty much priced into the markets anyway. Right, okay, let's get on and look at them technically. And well, yesterday ended up another positive day, but we've since seen it rolling back. These yields won't help the situation if they continue to push up. We've seen a lower high coming in this morning. The weakness that's sitting there. I'll show you the lower high. There you go. There's the lower high. So it's pulled off, pushed back up, and then just confirmed the lower high. So maybe trying to turn the corner. It's that funny old time in the morning where you get these sort of reactions, and then as soon as I've finished the recording, it goes completely the other way. This may be quite similar to normal then on that basis. What I'm looking for, we had been seeing, we saw it yesterday making new highs. It didn't hang on to its new highs yesterday, but was wondering whether we were going to see a bit more. But the euro isn't the most favoured pairing at the moment, and there are chances that it will continue. I mean, my fundamentals on the euro is showing us pretty poor, so it could be that this is the start of the continuation of the downside that we're seeing. But I'm just a bit wary at this time of the morning. It's, as I say, had a little retracement, but there you go. Might have more in store. The pound yesterday, well, it made a new high, but couldn't hang on to its gains. It's still quite sluggish, and I'm looking at it on this 4-hour picture, and well, it's not going one way or the other at the moment, which could mean that we could see a break of the highs here, the near-term highs, and a push up post 8 o'clock. If you see these markets pushing up, well, this is one that could. Again, I'm quite bearish now on the pound. I've sort of got my bullish sort of take on it. It's just pulled back a little bit. Sentiment from the big money's down on it. We'll see, but a break above 35.68 may be the trigger for further upside. Dolly Yen, if you can press the right button, that'd be good. Dolly Yen. Now the yen was doing well yesterday. It's by far the strongest. It outperformed all its peers. It was right across the board. Lower highs is already confirmed on the dailies there, but today we've seen this bounce, maybe because of the yields pushing up, and it may be short-lived. I mean, those yields they're still relatively low. They may roll back this morning, today at some point. But at the moment, yen, is it put a double? Well, people will look back and say it was a bit of a double bottom. It would have been diverging if it had actually made a low and double bottoms properly, but it's hanging around here. As I said yesterday, the big money is favouring the yen a little bit more. Maybe we've got more downside to come on this, and it certainly doesn't look like it's all over at the moment. Famous last words. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie couldn't keep things up yesterday. Commodity currencies struggling somewhat more, and selling off. It's already started selling this morning to a degree through the Asian session. Smaller bars slowing up, lower highs though confirmed through this. At the moment it's outlook's really generally bearish. However, we do have the daily pivot above, which any rallies may see that as a target. Canadian dollar was struggling yesterday to do too much. It actually softened further. As I said, the US dollar strengthened against it further for a while, but it did close stronger, and it's looking slightly better actually at the moment now than it was earlier. I was looking at it, starting to roll back a little bit, breaking the trend, but a divergence over the highs, I should imagine. There you go. There we go. You don't need an indicator to tell me that. Calculation just on the fact that it's consolidated between two highs, made a new high. 90% of the time there's a divergence, and there it is. Okay, just coming down. It is just such a mess though. When you look at it, trying to trade it, maybe now if it's starting to break down, it's going to do something a bit more, but it's a very difficult intraday trade. So there we go. That's the CAD. So nothing really catching my eye at the moment. I'm just watching the pound. Maybe if it starts picking up this morning and start seeing some buying coming through, that could be the one that moves. That's pretty much it there at the moment. I will look at the cross pairs in the trading room in a short while. Right, let's move on and look elsewhere then. There's gold commodities here. So gold had a good move yesterday, continued through, slowing up a little bit after its sort of surge of last week and into early this week. Monday pushed up strong, but certainly pushing up into the prior highs there. That 1831 area is a bit of a pain for it at the moment. But are we going to see some more consolidation and a later surge? But with what's going on with the bonds and etc., not really helping it at the moment. And just selling at this stage, but may be worth just even a trend line across there if you were looking. But again, be careful your stops. Gold can be so volatile, but it doesn't look like it's over. But that said, with this move into these prior highs, we could see it may be a bigger correction. And oil surged again yesterday, got just pushed on through there. I was scratching my head looking at potential shorts at one time, but just left it alone in the end. And again, oil is just running into this sort of $85 sort of area where it seems to be selling. We've seen sellers coming through at that level, so maybe capping it for now. But as I said yesterday, once again, it actually ran at 2 o'clock yesterday, but didn't catch it personally, and thereafter it went a bit dead. But still erring on the bullish side, if it can be, but it has got a resistance level now. That 80, as I say, that 85 area, it's been stifling it of late. But to break above that, well, we could see new highs being put in. Right, that's pretty much there. Let's have a look at the other markets. Let's go and have a look at the indices. What time is it? No, we can't do the indices. Let's just do crypto first. I just want to make sure all the indices are running. So starting off looking at Bitcoin then. Yesterday stalled yesterday, having made a new high in the earlier part of the day there, pushing through, slowing off a little bit at the moment. And again, if yields are starting to move, well, we may just see a little bit of a correction, but at the moment these markets are in a strong bull rally, I'd suggest. Ethereum still got some scope as well. Same thing, new high yesterday and a bit of a retrace. Ripple was slower and is consolidating again. It is a bit of a laggard a lot of the time here, with Ethereum catching the attention. Okay, moving into 8 o'clock, let's just have a quick look at what's happening then with the indices. In fact, we can look at the Hong Kong CSI 300 index, so no surprise to see that rolling off, particularly with the pressure coming out on to the construction companies there, or property companies, and we're seeing it following through into the Nikkei 225. So again, weakness there. I expect that to follow through whilst we get seeing the sort of headlines as we are. FTSE this morning, well, it's starting to buy again at the moment, so starting the day well. Let's just check that is today. It's running, yep, 10th of November, that's fine. So we're starting on a bit of an upside, opening up. DAX, it's consolidating around these phases. These are markets that don't look like they're going to turn around too quickly, and may just have more upside. All three of these markets. So the European markets looking bullish. US markets, well, yesterday down day, but bit of a weird one, and right the way through the market here, just all three of the markets there, three of the major markets there, rolled over yesterday, but catching the bid this morning. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see another new high at some stage. What do you reckon, S&Ps? Right, that's it really for me this morning. There's not a lot else there. As said, news-wise, we're just inflation this afternoon. Left to our own technical devices, as ever with currencies at the moment, it seems that we get more movements in the afternoon and more tradable movements sometimes in the afternoon. So maybe a patience game this morning with a bit of more trading this afternoon. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. Here we go, job done. Is that one done?